I want to now bring in Makram Rabah, assistant professor at the American University of Beirut. Professor Rabah, welcome to our program. So many developments are taking place simultaneously that endanger the wider situation in the Middle East. I do want to begin with Yemen, Professor. The U.S. State Department says it will reverse its ban on offensive arms sales to Saudi Arabia. That curb was once used to wind down the Yemen civil war. What has changed here, Professor? What is that signal?
Well, I don't think that the lifting of the ban on Saudi Arabia has anything to do directly with Yemen. It has to do with the ongoing talks between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well as the U.S. on the normalization or ultimately the peace talks, which Mohammed bin Salman has bravely spoken out in support of. So I think that Yemen will no longer be a Saudi problem like it was before. And given what the Houthis have done, I think that the international community will come to address the challenge of the Houthis and the challenge of the Iranians in disrupting maritime traffic. So here, I don't think that this is a message to Yemen, but rather to the international community that Saudi Arabia is a strategic partner, not only to the Biden administration, but to the international community as well.
Professor, would you say that tensions are flaring up again in Yemen and in Lebanon, as Iran says it stands ready to retaliate against Israel? What do you make of the possibility of this conflict escalating further?
Well, certainly we are heading towards more escalation, but I don't think that Iran actually controls the escalation gauge, so to speak. Be it the Houthis, Hezbollah, or any of the pro-Iranian militias in the region, I think they have turned themselves into the ridicule of the international community and also to the locals of these countries, because Iran has set the bar so high that it wants to avenge the killing of Haniya as well as the killing of the Hezbollah commander in Beirut. And because they have been playing the waiting game and playing more on the propaganda aspect and psychological warfare, I don't think that any strike at this moment will really hurt Israel's position. But rather, in this ongoing war, any mistake from any of the two parts could lead to more escalation or to total war.
Professor, what do you make of the prospect of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas? The situation certainly has been complicated, first of all, by the assassinations of Hamas leadership, and now by the latest deadly strike in Gaza that killed over 100 people. How does all of that fit into the prospect of a ceasefire deal being reached this time?
Well, honestly, sir, I don't believe that talks about a peaceful resolution of what's happening at the moment can be branded as more than wishful thinking, be it on the side of Netanyahu or his government, or on the side of Hamas inside Gaza. And here I'm talking about the faction led by Sinwar. No one really wants peace. Everyone wants a deal which is take it or leave it. And I think the international community, all the three major nations helping, Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt, who are trying to mediate, don't really change much, because at the end of the day, Netanyahu doesn't really care about the hostages. And Sinwar really wants to stay alive. So the ongoing escalation of violence from the two sides is an indication that we are really, really far from a true peaceful resolution to this ongoing conflict.